So let's begin. So this is going to be the module number 1. And in lesson number 1, we have learned what is ROS and why we use it. Meanwhile, in lesson number 2, we are going to see the history and versions of ROS. So let's move to the next slide. And what is ROS? Basically, we have already learned what is ROS in first lesson, but I'm going to tell you again. So robot operating system, that's what ROS stands for. And ROS is an open source framework designed for building robots and testing them. Then why we use it? Because it's very common in developing robots because it's having so many great features and tools. Then there's modular architecture, which means you can connect so many different stuff and basically you can do whatever you can think with ROS. Then there's a global community support available for ROS, which means there are so many people who are already working on ROS and you can use their experience and then you can use how they faced problems and then you can just develop your own or you can solve your own problems using their experience. Then let's talk about the history now. So it was all started in 2007 by Willow Garres. It was a person and who was living in California, America, and in 2010 they have released ROS 0.5. It was called Box Turtle, which was first public release, which means you can download it, you can install it on your own robot, and you can use it. It was available commercially. Then in 2000, after 2010, in early focus, they have begun the research on PR2. PR2 was a robot. If you go and search PR2, you will find a robot. The PR2 was a robot. Then they they did a rapid adoption. What do you mean by rapid adoption? Take an example as Windows. You know Windows, the PC, my PC is running Windows. The most of the computers in the world use Windows because it's very rapidly adopted by the people. Why? Because it was very easy to use, it was very friendly, and it was not costing much. Then let's talk about ROS 1 versions. Major ROS 1 versions. There are so many ROS 1 versions, but the majors are there's 5. Box Turtle, which was released in 2010. It was the foundation of all ROS 1 versions. Then they have released Electric MS, I'm sorry. It was released in 2011. It had very enhanced drivers. What do you mean by driver? Driver is a package. So let's take an example. If you install anything like, let's say a pen drive, if you install the pen drive on your computer, the computer will install the driver, supported driver for the pen drive. Then it will begin the basic process that the pen drive is used for. Then they released 2014 the release Indigo Eagle. It was the first long-term support release. What do you mean by long-term support? LTS. It's called LTS. If you install Ubuntu, I will show you. We will learn how to install Ubuntu on your machine. LTS stands for long-term support, which means how many times, like for how long the product is going to receive support updates, security updates. Like a phone, if you buy a phone, you must check how often you are going to get security updates or Android updates. Then it was Melodic Morenia. It was released in 2018. It was production grade stability, which means they can use it to produce so many robots. Like they can mass produce robots and they can install ROS on them. Then we have Noetic Ninjamis in 2020. Then this was the final ROS 1 version. Then they ended support. Let's talk about ROS 2 now because we have is ROS 2 now. Then the first ROS2 version was Ardent Apollon. It was released in 2017. That's when the ROS2 journey began. Then they had Bouncy Ball Zone. DDS was a communication link. This is a communication protocol which is being used in ROS. Then in 2019 they released Dashing Diademata. Sorry for pronunciation. It was the first LTS release, which means it was the first long-term support release of ROS2. Then Foxy Foxy Fitzroy. It was the 2020 release and it has long-term stability focus, which means you can users can use it for a very long time and it will continue to get updates after a certain time. Then we have Humble Hawksbill. It was in 2022. It was the latest major LTS. Then we have Jazzy Jalisco, which is the latest and most stable version. It was released in 2024. So let's take a look at the both ROS versions and let's compare them. So features, there are the features, middleware. The middleware is used as TCP UDP in ROS1 while as ROS2 is a bit modern. I will tell you the difference in different in other videos in upcoming lessons. But TCP UDP is a communication protocol and ROS2 is using DDS, which is more modern and it has some real-time advantages over TCP and UDP. Then real-time, the real-time, which means it can operate it now and it can do multiple tasks. So ROS1 was lacking such capability while ROS2 was having it. Then security, which just mean someone can hack your robot. No, it can't be hacked. So it was ROS1 was very vulnerable. Please cut. So let's talk about security, which means someone can hack your robot. Well, ROS1 was very vulnerable, which means it has less security, but ROS2 is having more. So there's an advantage on it. Multi-robot, which means you can control multiple robots. Not a lot. It was limited, but ROS2 was having so many. So it's there are some advantages over ROS1 for ROS2. So let's talk about industrial use, which means it can be used by industries or not. So ROS1 was very lab limited, which means it can be only used for research purpose or hobby purpose. But ROS2 was more industrial and research based. That's why ROS1 is lacking some capabilities over ROS2. So ROS2 is more modern, more secure, and more powerful than ROS1. So ROS has evolved from a research tool, which means it was just meant for research, but now it's the backbone of modern robotics. So let's meet in another lesson and let's see how the ROS is more changing our world. Let's see.